us against you. Trapped in poverty, generations of injustice and inequality. Ancestors changed the world, and though they came in chains, in you the strength and hope lives and still remains. You're mighty and majestic, descendants of kings and queens. Royal blood flows through your veins, children of the dream.
So hold your head up high.
Hold your head up high.
Keep reaching for the
Keep
sky.
reaching, no matter what. I know you can take it, no doubt about it. You're gonna make it. You're
Royalty,
royalty.
you are royalty.
You're royalty.
We got a message from above. You ain't no thug, you're royalty.
Royalty.
Brother, you're a king. Sister, you're a queen. Children of a dream. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty.
Every day and every hour, stand up tall with pride and power.
No matter
What people say about you,
we're gonna love.
never ever doubt you. Keep pushing, give it all you got. Don't stop till you reach the top.
So hold your head up high.
Hold your head up
Keep
high.
reaching for the
Keep
sky.
reaching. No matter what, no, you can take it. No doubt about it. You're gonna make it. You're royalty.
royalty.
Oh, yes, you
Got a
are.
message from above. You ain't no thug, you're royalty.
Oh,
Brother, you're a king.
you're a
Sister,
king.
you're a queen.
You're a
Children
queen.
of the dream.
Oh.
If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
So beautiful. We got a message from above. You ain't no thug, you're royalty.
And you're marvelous.
Marvelous.
It's so powerful.
Powerful. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty. Royalty. Royalty.
We got a message for you.
Got a message from above. You ain't no thug, you're royalty.
My brother, my brother.
Brother, you're a king. Sister, you're a queen.
Oh,
Children of the dream. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty.
King Kunta, here for you and I. Got this message, I'm spreading the most high. Head high, I shine like my father smile. Down upon my kings and queens of all times. Blessings, man of color, original king ruler. Slave that made a way metaphorically. King Kunta, eyes on prize, my pride won't collide. Am I right in your eyes if I stand on mine?
You are royalty. We got a message from above. You ain't no thug, you're royalty. Brother, you're a king. Sister, you're a queen. Children of the dream. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty.
You're royalty.
If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty. If you've never been told, time for you to know you're royalty.
What's going on? This your boy OT. How everybody doing today? Welcome back to the Sweet Lady OT Gospel Show. And I'm sitting here with none other than the lovely lady, Sweet Lady. How you doing today, Sweet Lady?
I'm good, OT, and how are you?
I am great.
Good.
Great. You know, even though it's raining,
Mm-hmm.
it's still a beautiful day.
It is.
Even though it's cool,
Yes.
it's still a beautiful
Yes,
day.
it is. Yes, it is.
And you know why, Sweet Lady? Because we're sitting here together,
Yes, you're right.
enjoying life.
Yes.
You don't get but one on
That's-
earth, right?
That's right.
You don't get but
Just
one. So we are here today to bring you some good inspiration, good information. And you know we love to have good, clean fun.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes. And OT,
Yes, Sweet Lady.
how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. To
Good.
be, this, like I said, this Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and not having to work first thing. You know, you have to get up. You got to be thinking about work.
Yeah.
Some days, you know, when you don't have to work, you don't think about it. You get up and you just want to, how can I say it? You want your mind to be at peace.
Yes.
And when I'm not working, my mind is really, really at peace. You know, that's me now.
Yeah.
A lot of people got jobs. They just, I love it. I love it. I love it. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate my job.
Yeah. I do too.
It take care of me and my family. So I'm not going to put nothing down by my job. It just, you know, you work so much.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I do. I understand.
Yeah, so that's the only thing about it.
Yeah, because, you know, I work a lot too.
Right.
But
We
you know
both
what?
work so much.
I'm excited today.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because we have somebody in the studio who loves their job.
Oh, man.
So we will introduce them to you a little later in a little short while. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned
Sweet
because
Lady OT Gospel Show.
yes, because they are doctors and you may have a question for them.
Okay.
All right. And you know, we are here, as we say, we are here. St. John 12:32 tells us, and if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me.
Yes.
Because we are given a duty as his children. We're not just here to be idle or not to do anything. You know, when the people were standing around in the marketplace idle, the Lord gives a parable about, he said, go out into the marketplace and find those who are not doing anything and tell them, invite them to my house, because there's plenty to do. There's plenty to do. And so we want to, you know, be sure that we are doing our part. We know that we have been given a call. He said, many are called. We're called to serve him. And so we want to do our part in lifting him up, because the word tells us again, and if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. So that's what we want to do our part to the glory of God. And OT, I'm just so excited about our guest here today.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So
Can we let the cat out the bag or not yet?
well, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, you want to give us another song and then we come back and introduce them?
Yes, we can.
Okay, what about that? Give us another song. Let's see, give everybody a chance to come on in.
Yes.
You know, some people have a little bit more time, need a little bit more time to come on in.
All right, so we'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned to Sweet Lady OT Gospel Show right here on Smash Bros Radio.
Thank you.
You make me feel so good when I wake up, Lord. I be on high. When I wake up, Lord, I'm so thankful. You're the one that sits in the sky. Just keep my head held high, 'cause your love, it covers me. I can't hold it. It's your glory. Lord, I give you all that I got. What a grateful day it is. What a grateful morning to say. I say good morning to you. I say good morning to you. I say good morning to you. I say good morning. I say good morning to you. I say good morning to you. I say good morning to you. I say good morning. You make me feel so good when I think about your mercy of life. Can't stop praising. I'll go crazy. Give the worship. Thank God it's morning. Get up with Jesus. Couldn't stand against us. Give your glory. Oh, you're holy. Yeah, I can't hold it. It's your glory.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Sweet Lady OT Gospel Show. I am OT with the lovely lady, Sweet Lady. And like Sweet Lady said before we left, we got a very special guest. Sweet Lady,
Yes.
who we got today?
Well, OT, without further ado, we're going to introduce our special guest, and they are some wonderful people, first of all, and they are some outstanding doctors. And how do you know, Sweet Lady? Because I'm their patient.
Okay.
All right. Our first guest is Dr. Keith, and he's a native of Barnwell, South Carolina, and moved to Birmingham area when he was a young child. He graduated from Hewitt-Trussville High School and went to FAMU. While he was at FAMU, he majored in biology and marched in the Marching 100. That's when he found out about chiropractic and afterwards matriculated to Life University College of Chiropractic. There he met Dr. Miracle. Dr. Miracle is a native of Chicago, Illinois. She graduated from Walter Payton College Prep, the 5th ranked high school in the nation. All right then. And she then went on to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, UAPB, and there she majored in biology and played on the basketball team. She then went to Life University to receive her chiropractic training. And once they graduated, they began their careers in Texas. And later that year in 2018, they opened Quest for Health Chiropractic in Trussville, Alabama. Welcome, Dr. Keith and Dr. Miracle Hollandquest to the Sweet Lady and OT Gospel Show.
Yes. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. We do appreciate you all coming today. And thank you so much. Thank you so much. But we know that you love what you do.
Yes.
Yes. So tell us, what is, sometimes we think of a chiropractor only when you have back trouble. But I have learned from you all, because look, you all have taught me. That's one of the things I love about you all. You didn't just, do this and do this, but you taught me why you were doing what you were doing. So tell us, what is chiropractic?
I love that question because just like you said in our office, it's about education.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people come into the chiropractic think neck pain, back pain, interact, get a check. That's what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
And so when you break down chiropractic to its root meaning, chiro means hand.
Mm-hmm.
Practic means done by.
Okay.
Done by hand. Done by hand. And so when you look at what we do by hand, we remove vertebral misalignments.
Mm-hmm.
Those misalignments cause stress on the nervous system. And so if you have enough stress on the nervous system long enough, you develop aches, pains, issues, dysfunctions that can eventually lead to disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what chiropractic is. It's the removal by hand of those misalignments, what we call in the office subluxation. We educate a lot about that.
Yes.
As oftentimes people first time hearing that word, subluxation, and that's what it is. Misalignment of the vertebrae cause pressure on the nervous system, which leads you to function less optimally.
Okay.
And our goal by hand is to get you to function better.
Yes.
And that's what chiropractic is.
Yes.
You hit the nail on the head.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate that. And another thing that I found fascinating about chiropractic care is, how you have pictures in your office.
Mm-hmm.
And, and when I first got my first scan, I guess I would call it that, I learned so much about, then it made me research, because, I love good information. That's why I do this show, because I like to give out the information that I've learned. And if I feel like it can help somebody, then that's what I want to do.
Right. And
so you have a picture in your office. And I was telling my brother about this picture. I said, do you have a wallet? And I said, do you have a wallet? And he said, yeah. I said, you sit on that wallet, don't you? I said, well, you need chiropractic care.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
We have
Yes, it looks like somebody's trying to reach us.
You ringing?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So, doctor, okay, what kind of training do chiropractics receive?
Yeah. So first, in order to apply for chiropractic school, first in order to apply for chiropractic school, you have to do 4 years of undergrad and get a bachelor's degree. So that bachelor's degree can be in science. It can really be in anything, but preferably science. Because once you get accepted and you start chiropractic school, the first 2 years is straight basic science.
That's
Okay.
good.
So we do a lot of anatomy, a lot of physiology, microbiology, biochemistry, all of the basic sciences, because that's how the body is able to function. After we do 2 years of basic sciences, we sort of transition into the clinical side of things, laboratory, clinicals, and just being able to interact with patients. So we learn a lot about consultation, evaluation, all
Note
of the
taking,
X-rays,
reading
yeah.
X-rays, writing X-ray reports.
So chiropractic school itself is about 4 more years, depending on how long you stretch the program out. And then after you finish 4 years of chiropractic school, we go into more of an extern or preceptorship. So we connect with other chiropractors that's been in the business for a while. We go and we serve in their offices. It can be 3 months, it can be 9 months, just depending on where you go. And then once we finish that, then you're released to go and take your state license. Now, also throughout this time, we have to take national boards. So it's 4 parts, well, really 5 parts, 4 parts in PT. So once you pass those 4 parts, then they open you up to get your licensure. And we have to usually take a test about the state laws too, concerning chiropractic. And then once you finish all of that, you're able to get licensed.
Okay. So it's a long
Yeah,
process.
it could be about 8 to 10 years total of school.
Oh wow.
And the continuing education that
Oh yeah, don't
that
forget
we
about
have
that. Every
that
year.
we have to get done.
Okay. All right. Now, if somebody in our audience says they may think, well, how do I know if I need to see a chiropractor? I mean, how can we, other than when I've been in a wreck, we know that most times now, most people have become informed of when they're in a wreck, the doctor may send them, they may be sent to a chiropractor, especially if they're here from behind. But other than being in an accident, how do I know that I need chiropractic care?
And our answer to this is, do you have a pulse?
Yes.
Do you have a brain? Do you have a spinal cord? You
Yes.
need to be in a chiropractic office.
Okay.
And when you talk about the things that causes you to misalign or the things that causes you to subluxate, we refer to those as the 3 T's: toxins, traumas, and thoughts. And so when we move into traumas, we talk about small traumas, right? So we have small traumas. That's more of our repetitive things that we do. Maybe it's the sitting at work. Maybe it's the working from home with these awkward positions that a lot of people have had to transition to since COVID. Those are what we call small traumas. Maybe you stepped off of the curb the wrong way, but you didn't hurt anything, but you did jolt your body.
Maybe you have to stand long periods of time and work on
Oh my
cement
goodness,
and hard
yes.
surfaces.
Oh yes.
Those are all little traumas that repetitively
Build
up.
And then you have big traumas, which is what you said, your car accidents.
Yes.
We've had people hit by 18-wheelers. We've had people T-boned,
cars.
head on. We've had people hit by cars,
Oh, wow.
walking on bikes. We've had so many crazy stories, and everybody thinks of those instances as, oh, you may need to see a chiropractor. But that's like I said, the traumas. You got little traumas, big traumas. When we talk about thoughts are things. We talked about this at the Vital Shift dinner earlier this month, sweet lady.
Yes.
We talked about thoughts being things. They are real things that can manifest within the body.
Because your perspective is your reality.
Yes, exactly. And so when you think about it, those childhood traumas that we've all experienced, whether it be emotional, whether it be just mental, whether it be physical traumas, and so many people are literally coming to our office and realize that all of those traumas play a huge role in how they present today. Nothing people come and talk, especially when they come in pain, nothing started yesterday. Nothing started when you twisted your back. These things have been going on for quite some time, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Well,
And then emotional stress,
a funny way to say that.
And then even you mentioned past emotional stresses, but I think about present emotional stress. How many of us have had family members pass away?
Yes.
And that's the stress that we have to take on. How many of us, are financially stressed in this season?
Right.
How many of us emotionally, as far as like spouse stress or children's stress.
Children.
Yeah, all of
Blessings,
these are-
but they can be stressful.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So all of these things that you encounter on a daily basis lead to subluxation, lead to misalignment, lead to the reason why you absolutely need to be in a chiropractic office.
And then
Outside of
toxins,
just
too.
aches and pains. And then you talk about toxins, the foods we eat.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 sec. Somebody trying to call in. I guess they want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
1 sec. Smashburg Radio. Who am I talking to?
Hey, this G.
Hey, what's up, G? What's going on, man?
Hey, look, I'm watching the show, right? And
Right.
and I actually had a chiropractic appointment Wednesday, but I ended up canceling it.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely need to come see these people. Like, how do I book an appointment to come see them?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can give us a call. Our office is in Trustville, so you can give us a call at 205-537-1161. We're out of office now, but just leave us a voicemail and we'll be able to call you back to get you scheduled. Yeah, we have a special going on right now too, so we'll be able to work with you.
Okay, so can y'all put that on the thing and actually pin it, like pin the number?
Yes, we'll do that.
Yeah.
And be
Okay,
sure,
so pin
be
the
sure you
number on
continue to
there.
listen
I
now.
definitely- Huh?
Continue to tune in, because we're gonna
Oh,
keep
yeah,
giving this
I'm
information
listening.
out.
I'm
Okay.
watching.
Okay.
I'm watching. Just pin it for me so that way I have the number. Because I'm kind of doing something right now, so I can't like write it down. So pin the number for me,
Okay.
and that way I can contact them because I really need an appointment. Like
Okay.
I really need an appointment.
Okay.
Okay.
We
All right.
love to serve you too.
Okay.
Hey, appreciate the G. I
I
hope
appreciate
everything
y'all.
work out with you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Now tell us that number one more time, Doctor.
Yeah, so it's 205
Uh-huh.
537
Okay.
1161.
Okay. Uh-huh.
You gonna pin?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can go ahead and do it. Okay. So you've told us why we need to see a for anything, like Dr. Keith said, if you have a pulse,
That's right.
if you're human, you gonna need a chiropractor. So does that mean that you see babies also?
Oh, yes.
Absolutely. Ooh, that's Dr.
That's
Miracle's
my
favorite.
my favorite. I love seeing babies and pregnant women, and
Mhm.
I think that people don't realize because babies can't talk, they can't tell us they're in pain, or they can't tell us why they're fussy.
Mhm.
So people just think that they don't need a chiropractor, but it's the first subluxation, the first misalignment actually happens at birth.
Uh-huh.
When during the birthing process, a lot of times doctors are pulling and twisting on baby's head to help guide them out of the birthing canal, and that's a lot of stress on the immature spine.
Mhm.
And so, just like they have spines and nervous systems, and just like we have spines and nervous systems that need to be checked, they do too.
Mhm.
So the adjustment looks a lot different for babies and kids. We still get them evaluated just like you did with the scan and
Mhm.
checking their nervous system. But once we get them adjusted, it's so gentle. So often we see them, like with babies, they express health so well. So once they get adjusted and we correct that subluxation, you can just see the blood flush through their body. And we see a lot of babies get better sleep. We see fussiness decrease. We see
That's
ear
ear
infections.
infections.
Yeah.
Wow.
In our toddlers and younger kids, we
Mhm.
see
Colic.
colic and bedwetting is a big one too.
Oh
So just
wow.
by removing subluxation, taking the pressure off of the nervous system,
Mhm.
they're able to function a lot better.
Okay. I never thought about bedwetting being
Mhm.
something that's has to do with the nervous system, but I guess it does.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how many years have we been seeing our cousins and heard about aunties and uncles getting towed up,
Yes.
getting whooped,
Yes.
beaten?
Yes.
But it's literally all
It is-
connected.
yes.
Those
Yes.
nerves in the low back,
Yes.
they branch out and go to the muscles and joints of the low back and
Uh-huh.
the lower extremity, but they also wrap around and go to all of your organs in the abdominal cavity. So
Yes.
that's reproductive organs, digestive organs, but also the bladder. And
Yes.
so if we have pressure on those nerves in the low back, the brain can't tell the bladder when it's time to release.
Mhm.
And so in kids, it's kind of hard. It's already hard for them to recognize how their body is functioning.
Mhm.
So now we have interference preventing their bladder from being able to release appropriately. So we start to wet the bed.
Wow. Wow. That is this body is amazing.
It
It's so
is.
amazing.
And Dr. Keith, I remember at the dinner,
Mhm.
you said something about this body is made to kind of like heal itself.
Yes,
So can you tell us a little bit about that process?
it is. God designed us perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
There was no mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I use this lady as an example. She was an African lady who came into our office. Was it 6 months into living in the United States? Was it 9 months? She had developed high blood pressure. She had developed pre-diabetes. She had
Wow.
developed so many things by adjusting to the standard American diet.
Mm.
And so I talked about at the dinner, we're not living lifestyles, we're living death styles.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us are.
Yes.
A lot of people are talking about all these things that were genetic and passed down. The only thing that was passed down was your death style.
Mm-hmm.
Our bodies are designed to heal anything that comes our way. We just have to put ourselves in the right environment.
Right.
That's the food that you eat. That's the drinks that you drink. That's the environment that you surround yourself in. The thoughts that you have.
Mhm.
Bad thoughts manifest into bad things. Right?
Right.
That's all of those things. And so making sure that also your nervous system is functioning optimally. Your body has a bunch of different automatic functions that Dr. Miracle was talking about, from cardiovascular system to urinary tract system to so many different systems your body has, musculoskeletal. Your body was made to be able to withstand everything that comes our way as long as we put ourselves in the right conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
think
so-
about it. When you if you get a cut, you don't have to tell your arm heal.
Right,
You don't
right.
have to say heal now.
Mhm.
It heals on its own,
Mhm.
and that's how the nervous system functions too. But it has to be under the right circumstances.
Yes. Right. With the hands on.
With the hands on.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of good information. I got one quick question.
Okay.
How bad is a bulging disc?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's pretty severe, especially
Really?
when it comes to can cause a lot of pain. When you talk about the disc they go in between each vertebrae. That's how we withstand different stress. That's how we're able to move. Really, that's what creates those joints in between each bone in the spine. It's supposed to withstand a lot of pressure and tension from
A lot of
jumping to
friction.
a lot of friction and things like that. And so when you have a bulging disc, the disc is literally irritated. But one of the main risks about that is behind the disc is the spinal column.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that bulging disc bulges to the point where it's pressing into your spinal cord, you can have a whole host of issues. So that's another reason why we suggest people have consistent chiropractic care. We'd rather get to you before bulge disc, but also we have been able to help people with bulge disc. And that may mean that we change the technique that we use. But that's also why x-rays are very, very important. And we make sure we take those x-rays. If you have any information from previous provider, we want to see those notes to see exactly what they found, what they see, what y'all talked about. And that also helps us dictate how we move with our care in our office as well. Bulging discs are pretty serious. And I think that a lot of people, especially us, we got to go to work. We got to get things done. We don't have time to pay attention to those types of things. When you talk about bulging discs, yes, we have health insurance, but oftentimes those come with co-pays, and sometimes some services to be able to handle the bulging disc aren't covered under those co-pays, those co-insurances. So there's also money out of pocket.
Right.
So it's a lot of things that prevent people from taking care of that. But if you have a bulging disc, been diagnosed with any disc issue, chiropractic should definitely be your next stop, even if it's not our office. I'm a proponent. Y'all go someplace else. If we too far of a drive, go someplace else. But please get your spine taken care of. We talk about teeth decay. Well, you could always get dentures or veneers or whatever that is, but how many times can you get a spinal transplant?
Right.
Those don't exist. And the fact that your discs are bulging, that's an automatic sign that we're already, moving down that degenerative chart.
And
Wow.
just to piggyback off of that, most of the time the bulging disc doesn't happen from one impact. It can, but most of the time it doesn't. What it usually comes from is chronic misalignment. From all of those stresses that we mentioned before, those 3 T's, those bones slowly shift out of alignment. And being out of alignment for long periods of time, usually when you have that rear end, or if you have a slip and fall, you step wrong, that's when the big impact happens for that disc to go ahead and bulge. So usually it's not just a one incident thing, it's something that has built up for quite some time.
Okay.
Did we answer that question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Another question. Quick question. Do y'all suggest? You know how some people we've been trained to do things so long, like bending over, picking things up. Do y'all suggest a certain way?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the best things that I can give, I don't know if you've ever heard of a hip hinge. So a hip hinge, most of the time when we're lifting and bending, we do it with straight legs. And so our back is what has to engage. But when you're doing a hip hinge, it's a slight bend in the knee and you're pushing your butt back. So you're using all of the mobility of your hips. And then once you're lifting, you're using your glutes, your butt, and your legs to help propel you. rather than having your low back engaged the entire time. Because
Right.
if you do that repetitively, that's again when we start to see aches, pains, and dysfunction. So proper posture is absolutely important when it comes to lifting, bending, and even with sitting and standing and walking. It's a proper posture for everything.
Okay.
Yes. And I know you all teach how to get out of the bed because that's what you taught me.
We have really good form teachers lately.
Yes. Okay. You have any more questions?
Go ahead. You can come out on that.
Okay. I do see one of the listeners has a question. She said, anxiety, is chiropractic good for anxiety?
You know, it's so interesting because that wasn't something that we just studied long term in school. Yes, we looked at a lot of different, mental health things, but it was once we got into practice that we really saw how much of a huge impact that we have on that. And we go back to the nervous system. If your nervous system is ramped up, if your nervous system is functioning, at a
in that flight or fight mode,
in that fight or flight state, it increases anxiety. And it's interesting because we always talk about fight or flight. Everybody talks about it. If a tiger runs in this room, we're going to be in fight or flight. Do we fight him? Do we flight from him?
Right.
Right? If
Right.
somebody swerves into your lane going down 59, or God forbid you're on 65 or 280, somebody swerving in your lane, that's a fight or flight moment.
Right.
When you receive delinquent bills in the mail, that puts you in a fight or flight state. Right? All of these things put you in fight or flight. You need to be able to balance that parasympathetic side. That's the rest and digest that we rarely ever hear about. We always hear about how life puts us in a fight or flight. How do you balance out the rest and digest that parasympathetic? When you're resting and digesting, that's literally when your body's able to digest food, when your body's able to heal and regenerate.
and when your mind is able to be at ease, when you're able to rest. And the thing about it is that we have been in such a amped up mode with COVID and with just all of the things that we do on a daily basis, right? And so with chiropractic, after we address the nervous system, it helps to bring that down. It helps to get us in a more restful state, more balanced state. And that's when we start to see things like anxiety, things like depression start to heal. We start to heal from those things because our body is in a more calm state.
Okay.
So yes.
Right. Long answer, but yes.
Yes.
Chiropractic is absolutely amazing for things like that.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
question.
Any more questions from our audience?
I have another question.
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you this. Like dealing with somebody that work out. I once heard that lower the weight, more reps would be better. Would y'all suggest, something like that?
Good question.
Yeah, so that's probably my favorite population to work with, the more athletic world patients, I guess you say. And so I would absolutely suggest that you lower the weight, especially depending on what your recovery looks like. A lot of people don't have a good recovery process. We don't stretch, we don't foam roll, it's a lot of things that we don't do. We don't work on mobility. We just continue to pump heavy. So I've been suggesting to a lot of people, especially if they're lifting overhead, oh my gosh. Ooh, especially if they're lifting overhead, to be able to bring down the amount of weights you're using, just increase the resistance. And of course, depending on what their training goals are, advice may be different. But for a lot of people, that's what we suggest because the recovery isn't there. And they keep pushing until they injure themselves, trying to make themselves healthier.
Right. Okay. Appreciate that.
Okay. And one more. You have?
No, go ahead, sweetie.
Okay. How long does an appointment or a session last at a chiropractic office?
Well, it depends on which session and which appointment. So
and which office too.
And which office.
Okay. We can only really speak for our office because we practice a little bit differently. We focus on long-term health, right? We don't want you to just come in and get a pop and go.
Right.
Because that can relieve some pain, absolutely. But does that help you to be healthier long-term?
Does that fix the
Not
issue?
so much. And right, does it get to the actual root cause of what's going on? No. So in our office, we do not adjust on the first day. We don't want to put our license in jeopardy, and we don't want to put your health in jeopardy either. And so on the first day, that's when we do all of our diagnostics. We do that thermal scan that you had done. We take our x-rays. We do a full consultation. We do a full exam. Any orthopedic exams or neurological exams that we need to do, we collect all of this information. And then we sit down, all the doctors in the office, us, and then our associate doctor, Dr. Joey, we sit down and we look at all of the information And at that second visit, that's when we present it to you, because we also believe that knowledge helps with the healing process.
Right.
So if you know what's going on with your body, you're more likely to, number one, take accountability for your health, but also reach your health goals and keep them long term.
Yes.
So at that second visit, that's when we actually go through your x-rays with you. You can see what joints are moving versus which joints are restricted. We go through what all is included in care. We go through what your specific recommendations are, because everyone's plan looks a little different. And then from that point, that's when we get you adjusted. So those first 2 visits are usually about an hour. But then after that, when it's time to get adjusted, we're usually on and off the table in 3 to 5 minutes. The most time that people spend in our office is about 20 to 25 minutes on a regular.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Anybody else have a question? Let's see. Okay. She said, what are your days and hours?
Yeah, so we are open Monday through Thursday. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, we're open in the morning between 10 and 12:30. And then on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so all 4 days, we're open in the evening from 3 to 6.
Okay.
So we leave that afternoon time open, because we also go out to the community and we do community outreach programs. So we bring food to different organizations, businesses, schools, and we come and do a health talk, and we just talk a little bit about how the body works, like kind of like what we're doing now, and we offer people an opportunity to come in and try chiropractic from themselves. So we always leave that time open so that we can go out and do our community outreach program. But those are our hours of seeing.
Okay. All right. Let's see here.
Okay. I got someone want to question what it is. So,
Okay.
y'all, I think she asking, do y'all accept insurance? I think that's what she asking, sweet lady.
Yeah, I think that's what she's saying.
We are in network with who? Blue Cross Blue Shield, Viva, Medicare, United Healthcare.
Yep, those are the four
Almost
main
everybody
ones.
except Cigna and Aetna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, so we do accept insurance. Everyone's plan looks a little different, and depending on our recommendations, we're able to take that insurance and apply it. The only downfall with insurance is that they're not always in alignment with what your x-rays look like and the type of care that you need.
Right.
So we have had people get a little upset about that. For example, if your plan has 12 visits, but we recommend 20 visits, out of pocket for the other 8. But my thing is that insurance is not able to look at your x-rays and see the current condition of your spine to say how many visits you need.
And think about that. If we say 2 times a week because you're in acute pain, you have 12 visits. That leaves us 6 weeks.
Yes.
What about the rest of the year?
Right.
What about the rest of those months? What if something else happens and you're in a car accident and now you can't use that because you're out of visits? It's not very many. So
Right.
So we do accept insurance. We do apply it to your care. It just doesn't always cover everything.
Okay. And someone says, one of the comments, it said, I hope the day I come to pay a visit, you all have some food. So they heard that part about the dinner. Yes, and it was a good dinner too. I wished I had gotten more after I had left, and you know how you go home and you eat. I said, man, I should have got more of this.
I wish you would have too.
Home with some too, because we had to take it home.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's see. Any more questions, OT?
I think that's it. But I don't see no more questions.
All right. Well, there's a comment. She says, absolutely amazing information. Looking forward to visiting.
Great information.
All right.
Great information.
Yes.
Great information.
So I would say to all grown men, because just about, I would say the majority of men, not all men, but the majority of them have wallets.
Right.
Go see a chiropractor. You will be surprised as to what over time that sitting on that wallet has done with your spine.
Especially our truck drivers and people who you sit on those for extended amounts of time. The entire time you're sitting, you're torquing the pelvis.
Yes.
all these years.
Yes.
All these
your body out of alignment, you know, your spine. And the spine is so important. So who's the boss of the body, the spine or the brain?
You know?
they work in tandem.
Okay.
But I would say the most important is the brain.
The brain, okay.
Because the brain is what initiates any signals or messages. If you want to
Interprets
lift
them.
something up, it first has to start in the brain to send a signal to your hand to actually reach out and lift it. So if the brain isn't functioning optimally, then those signals don't get to where they need to.
Okay.
But the spinal cord is super important too, because that's like the freeway,
Mhm.
right? The
Mhm.
brain sends the message down the spinal cord, and those signals go from inside the spinal cord out through a network of trillions of nerves. They go to all your organs, your
Mhm.
muscles, your tissues, your cells.
Mhm.
It's literally that important.
Yes.
So when those bones that are supposed to protect that fragile, important spinal cord shift out of alignment, it puts pressure on those nerves, and that's what causes the disconnection between the brain and the rest of the body.
Mhm.
So we see things like the nerves in the mid-back. They go to all of your organs in your chest cavity, like your heart, your lungs, your stomach, gallbladder. When we see misalignments there, we see things like high blood pressure. We see
Mhm.
things like asthma, bronchitis, other respiratory disorders. We see
Especially in our kids.
we see acid reflux, indigestion, upper digestive system issues, and that's just in the
Sleeping,
mid-back,
yeah.
right? But what about the neck?
Mhm.
Those nerves go to your face, your head, down your arms and shoulders, and into your fingers.
Mhm.
So when we see misalignment,
I got carpal tunnel.
right?
Uh-huh.
A lot of
Feel it
the
in my
time,
hands.
it's not carpal tunnel; it's coming from the neck.
Wow.
We see numbness and tingling down the arms. We
Mhm.
see shoulder pain, neck pain,
Mhm.
headaches and migraines. We talked about anxiety, depression, sinus issues, thyroid issues. The nerves in the neck control them all.
Mhm.
And-
Sleeping.
sleeping. Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Yes, nervousness. All of that comes from the neck, and then the low back is the last part. Those nerves go to the muscles and joints of the low back down into the lower extremity. So when we see subluxation or misalignment there, we see back pain, we see hip pain, and sciatica. that numbness and
Infertility.
tingling. Yes, because
Wow.
those nerves also go to the organs in the abdominal cavity. So reproductive. We talked about the bedwetting with kids. We see infertility in men and women. We also see
Erectile dysfunction.
yes,
Wow.
constipation, diarrhea. All of those issues come from the low back because that's where those organs are housed. So, quite
a
a
lot.
bit. It's super important.
And that's
to
why I
make
think
sure.
it's so cool that
Yeah.
we're here sharing this information, because now we are developing choices and options now that you're hearing this information. Because if we
Right.
don't tell people this stuff, people think big pharma is the only option.
Right. Right.
Big pharma. I just think about just how we grew up. How many of us grew up with medicine cabinets in the house?
Mhm. Right. Right.
You go to other countries and you don't see that.
Mhm.
That's an American thing. You don't really see that because a lot of other people, they focus on the health and longevity of their citizens versus, unfortunately here it's about medication. I'm not saying all medication is bad, but when you look at the research, depending on the article you read, either the the third or the fourth leading cause of death for Americans is iatrogenic disease, which is taking medications as prescribed.
Wow. Yes.
And so that is why we want to get this
Yes.
information out to everybody,
Mhm.
but especially our community, because we oftentimes are the ones suffering the most.
Yes. Being the I would say guinea pig for lack of a better word.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And most of these medications were not meant to be long term, but unfortunately, that's not what's communicated. When you go in and you're diagnosed with high blood pressure, they give you medication, but they don't give you a stop date, right?
Right.
But what our goal is to, number one, focus on getting the adjustment so that we can help your nervous system function better. But just like we're sharing this information now, we try to do that in the office too,
Mhm.
so that you can make better eating choices, better drinking choices, and all of these accumulate to being a healthy person.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. Well, we do.
Nah, there's a
Another
couple more questions on
Oh, okay.
online if
Okay.
y'all have time.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Someone said, was there a time during your school process that you was ready to give up and change your career path?
Oh, yes.
This must be a young person.
Must be. But yes, school is really tough.
It's
challenged
ridiculous.
us.
I had my first mental breakdown in chiropractic school.
Really?
Like I remember, the teacher gave us a practice exam, and Dr. Miracle and I were supposed to be studying. She went in. We were studying at my apartment. She went in my bed, went to sleep. I'm up studying. I'm like, what is this? And I remember looking at the test, and after I honestly took the test and I went back and graded myself on the answers, I made a 45. The test was tomorrow, and I just knew I knew that information. And screaming, kicking, I was just I was just going crazy. Go take the exam, make a 98. I was like, what?
Oh no, remember that time when we were getting ready for boards? So our schedule was already packed. Like we would have class from 7
7 to
a.m.
7.
to 5 p.m. And then we had board review. So board review would go from 6. So we had like a little hour break. And then we go from 6 to 8. Then we got to go home and study the information that we just learned in board.
From school and boards.
From school and board. So now we're going from 8 to 10 or 11 and starting all over again that next morning, getting up at 5. And that is, that was tough for me. It was exhausting.
They had a 24-hour restaurant down the street from Life University called Metro Diner. If you ever met, I'm so, what I said, Metro Diner?
Yeah.
Marietta Diner.
Oh, Marietta Diner, okay.
When the library would close, we would literally drive half a mile down Carl Parkway, and we would go to Marietta Diner, and we would study until like 6 o'clock in the morning because the library had kicked us out.
Wow.
They start flashing lights. It's time for them to go home. And so to answer your question, yes, there were days where I absolutely wanted to give up. Yes, there were days where I absolutely wanted to quit. But I'm so grateful that I did not. First of all, my mom is law enforcement and she fights me. She's always beat me. My mom has tased me. If y'all, I ain't gonna give a name.
Like that.
The woman is nuts. So I was I'm not finna quit and have to go face her because she gonna fight me. And then number 2, think about how many people come into our office today and get help.
Yeah.
Woman last week was in tears because somebody finally gave her good news. Somebody finally gave her hope. She thought she was destined to have neck pain, headaches, and migraines. 3 adjustments in, she's doing so much better.
Yeah.
She's smiling. She just adopted a 2-year-old little boy. She was afraid that she was going to be leaving Earth soon to not be able to raise him and to give him that hope. I would have never been able to do that had we not stayed in school.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle for a reason.
Right. Exactly.
These things aren't happening to you; they're happening for you. And if you think that school is tough, wait till you get out.
Yes.
Wait till you get out. And I remember when we were trying to open, and we had 2 patients.
Yeah.
I remember having 4 patients, 6 patients. Like, that was a struggle. You talk about school. There's no refund check coming. There's no financial aid that'll be able to help out. Like, it's you and what you're going to do. So just if you're in school, if you're challenged right now, I just encourage you, anybody listening to me, if you want to go back to school. When I was in school, this woman, she was 71. Miss Jane, she said she got divorced right before she started school because her husband said, you don't need to do that. And she said, I'm grown. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it. She left her husband, went to chiropractic school. She's practicing today.
Oh, wow, really?
So no matter how old you are, she was 71. I was 24 in school. In a study group with a 71-year-old woman. So you can do it too, no matter who you are.
Great. Thank you. That's good question and very great answer.
Okay, I got one more question.
Okay, yeah.
What about a teenager with a curved spine? Would this be good for them?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And if you're a teenager, have a curved spine and haven't been to a chiropractor, it's too late. You need to get in soon.
Okay.
I won't say too late. It's late. You need to get in soon.
Okay.
Soon.
Yeah, because we talk about how when those bones shift out of alignment and put pressure on the nerves, affects the nervous system. That's the same thing for a regular curvature. You could have been born with it. It could have been some type of trauma that caused your spine to curve. But no matter what caused it, that curvature still puts pressure on the nerves. So if we can take pressure off of the nervous system, no matter what your structure is, that's going to help your brain talk to your body better, and you're going to function better.
And left alone, those curves get worse.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I hope that was did y'all hear the answer?
Okay. And the last question here. Then we're gonna. It's our time. Yeah. How often should you go see a chiropractor? It all depends, right?
Depends on what phase you're in. When you first start coming, especially if you're in aches and pains, you'll see us a little more often.
Yeah, that's that initial intensive care.
But once we come out of corrective care, like Sweet Lady, and we're moving into wellness care, we sometimes it's one time a week, once every other week, once a month, depending on what your case is, depending on what those x-ray results show, because that's another thing. We take pre and we take post x-rays to show the change and the differences. After wellness care, we take another set of x-rays because structure determines function all day long. How do we know we're doing what we say if we don't check? So it just depends on what phase of care you're in. We got some people come in once a month. Some people come in twice a month.
Okay. All right.
All righty. That's it. We appreciate.
Yeah.
We got a lot of people tuning in, so again, Sweet Lady, you wanna tell about the doctors.
Doctor. Okay, this is Doctor.
The ones that come in late.
Okay, yeah. We are talking with Dr. Keith and Dr. Miracle of Quest for Health Chiropractic in Trussville, Alabama. and they are accepting new patients. I just said it. Okay, and they will tell us how we can get in touch with them by giving us that number again, and also the address to where you are. And they would. You spoke about a special.
Yeah, I can talk about that too.
Okay.
So so the name of our office is Quest for Health Chiropractic. We're located at 1110 North Chalkville Road in Trussville, Alabama.
Okay.
Right next to the YMCA.
Yeah, behind the Taco Bell.
Okay.
Yes, and so our phone number is 205-537-1161.
Okay.
Our website is www.questforhealthchiro.com. And so the special that we're running right now is actually a social media special, and so it's going to be a limited time that we run this, but it's $75, and that includes your consultation, your evaluation, your exam, and your x-rays.
Mm-hmm.
So typically that package of those 4 things costs about $300 coming in off the street, but we're doing it for $75.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
See,
You
that's
can give us
good.
a call, leave us a voicemail. We'll be able to call you back because it's the weekend now, or anytime throughout the week, give us a call and we can get.
All right. And be sure when you call them, you let them know that you heard them on the Sweet Lady and OT Gospel Show.
Yes,
That's
yes,
right.
yes.
All right. Well, we give good inspiration, good information, and we have good fun.
Good, clean.
Thank you
fun.
so much, Dr. Keith and Dr. Miracle.
Thank y'all.
y'all for
Thank you
having
so
us.
much.
Yes.
We
yes.
appreciate you all coming in and helping us today to provide some great, outstanding information. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. We appreciate you. This your boy OT with the lovely lady, Sweet Lady. And like what Sweet Lady say, each and every Saturday at 4 p.m., we're going to bring that good inspiration, good information, and a whole bunch of clean fun.
Yes.
So, Sweet Lady,
All right.
that's it for you today.
Well, I want everyone to remember, whether therefore ye eat or drink or whatsoever you do, you want to do it all to the glory of God.
Thank y'all
Thank
for
y'all.
tuning in.
Yes,
See y'all
thank you so
again
much
next
for
Saturday.
tuning in. And don't forget to call Quest for Health Chiropractic in Trussville, Alabama. And that number again is, I don't see it on here, OT.
I don't know why it went down. Well, I see.
The number again is 205-537-1161. And remember to tell them that you heard about them on the Sweet Lady and OT Gospel Show.
Okay,
All
yes, yes, Michael, we gonna send you information. We got all the information right here because he said y'all have a new patient. He gonna be calling y'all, so be looking out for him. So yeah,
Yes.
a lot of more people on there said they want to be ready.
Okay.
So we gonna send y'all the information. So we gonna maybe post it on our
Yes,
page.
we'll
Sweet
post
Lady.
it on our page.
We'll post on our page and we'll post. So we'll go from there.
And please share the live. Please share. There are others who need this great information. Please share. And you know that's what we're about here at Sweet Lady and OT Gospel Show. Providing good inspiration, good information, and having good fun. See you all, Lord's willing, next Saturday at 4:00 p.m. right here on Smash Bros Radio.
Yo, thank you all.
Grandma called a check 'cause I get no rest. I was blessed to be a blessing. Woo! Went from Ric Flair to Jacob with the rest. God ain't let you go until I get it. I came out limping, but I came out. And I began to see what I had prayed for. It's blessed to make one rich and they bring no son. It's yes and amen on this promise. Hold on, my brother. Help's on the way. Be encouraged, my sister, 'cause trouble don't last always. And when you feel like dark clouds won't go away, my God is gonna shine, 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 shine right on your face. Go ahead and put a smile, 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 smile right on your face. I wanna see a smile, 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 smile right on your face. Trouble don't last always. No, 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 trouble don't right on your face. Just let the sun shine, 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 shine right on your face.
You are tuned into the Sweet Lady and OT Gospel Show right here on Smash Bros Radio.